On Sunday evening of this past weekend, a new article came out that was based off of 13 million leaked documents that seemed to implicate some members of the Trump campaign, Trump administration, possibly in some crimes here. Now, 13 different Donald Trump cabinet members, donors, and allies have been identified in what's being called these Paradise Papers. Most notably among them is Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, who happens to have financial interests in a company that is also partially owned by members of Vladimir Putin's family. Now, the issue here is that Wilbur Ross, during his confirmation hearing, did not disclose any of these financial ties to Vladimir Putin's family, basically having anything to do with anything in Russia, did not disclose it, denied that he had any such investments or involvement, and now we find out, yeah, you actually really did. Jared Kushner also happens to be one of the fellas listed in these Paradise Papers because we have Russian oligarchs who invested money into startup businesses run by Kushner, and Kushner, as usual, failed to disclose these financial ties on his security clearance application form, as well as during other questioning about this entire Trump-Russia campaign connection. Other people mentioned Rex Tillerson, Steve Mnuchin, and Gary Cohn are also holding money off overseas, basically to avoid U.S. tax laws, according to what's been released in these Paradise Papers. So what does this all mean? First and foremost, it means that Donald Trump's promise to drain the swamp was an absolute lie to the American public. 13 people who are very close to Donald Trump or who helped him win this election are hiding money overseas and lying about it. And that brings us to the second major point. Some of the people lying about it doesn't really matter. Yeah, they're holding money offshore. Unfortunately, there's not a whole hell of a lot we can do about it as a country. And it's not a crime to just lie to people. So yeah, they can say they didn't do it and then turns out they did. They're fine. But it kind of depends on who you lie to. And that's why Wilbur Ross and Jared Kushner are kind of facing a little bit tougher time than some of the other people in these papers, because they lied to people who it's illegal to actually lie to. Jared Kushner on his security form and Wilbur Ross during his confirmation hearing. It is a crime to lie on either of those things, whether in front of a Senate committee or on an official application form. Both of those men, and potentially others as this story is still developing, could find themselves in very serious legal hot water over this, which would really just add to the complications that Jared Kushner is already facing as part of the Bob Mueller probe, and I'm sure that these 13 million leaked documents have a little bit more information in there that Mueller is dying to get his hands on. This comes, again, at a horrible time for the Trump administration because just a week ago, we got handed down indictments against Manafort and Gates. We know from this past weekend that he has enough evidence to indict Michael Flynn and his son. And now these Paradise Papers come out showing, one, that Trump administration officials are hiding tons of money overseas, and two, they potentially perjured themselves in front of the Senate or on their financial disclosure forms for their security clearance. Just when you think things can't get any worse for the Trump administration, something else comes out and shows just how incompetent and blatantly corrupt everyone who Trump surrounds himself with truly is. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see here on Ring of Fire, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel. You can see the little subscribe button down there, but if you're watching it on another device where you can't see it, go to youtube.com/TheRingOfFire, hit subscribe, be notified every time we get a new video.